Shalom, all praise to Yahawashi, Shar, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, peace and salutations to the elect. All right, I wanted to get into this real quick, showing, we want to go into 1 Corinthians, the 8th chapter. SICARII went into it with the controversy. Brother Kazak made a video. I know you pretty much, everyone's now aware of what's going on. He made a video, saying if you eat, I guess someone asked him the question, if you eat food on Thanksgiving, don't look at it from an over-righteous mind frame. You're not being wicked. You're not celebrating, Thanksgiving by eating food, as long as it's lawful. If you're around your family or anything happens on that day to where you eat that food, then you're not wicked. Then you have the premise that you are wicked and that you're going off and that the Most High is going to pretty much destroy you if you eat it, and in the scriptures you did have a controversy with this in the Church of Corinth, and that's why I'm going to get into 1 Corinthians the 8th chapter, but we're going to listen to SICARII's breakdown, and he skipped over a lot of key points. He didn't go into the history of what was going on around this time, which is very vital that we give our people the understanding of what is going on in these scriptures and stop using the scriptures to just support unbalanced doctrine, because on one side, you're not wrong by saying you're not going to eat on these days. I myself, I don't eat on these days, especially Christmas. I can't be around my family on Christmas, and I don't have to deal with that because I'm not around my family. My family's in another state, so I don't have to deal with that, particular demon. Your family wanting you to come, but you may have a brother who does, now. The argument is if you eat the food, you're wicked, you're going off, which you did have men who had that premise and who held that standard. That was the disputing back and forth. There was a lot of disputes that we see happening today that happened back in the old church, especially at the Church of Corinth. All right, so we're going to get into 1 Corinthians 8. I got into it in another sit down and another lesson, because he said my name. He said that I'm justifying this and this and this and that. But we're going to get into the scriptures and see what they say. Let's just listen to his breakdown of 1 Corinthians 8 and how he skips over. He doesn't break down what's going on, and you could tell he really doesn't understand the chapter. All right?
Cap, we had that heretic come into the class and go on his anti-Paul tirade. He was trying to isolate aspects of 1 Corinthians 8, which through the Spirit of pride Yahawashi, we qualify and quantify and clarify. Okay, so we're going to deal with this. Right? So let's read 1 Corinthians, the 8th chapter, start at the top, Bible Shar, and read down. Barak, go ahead. Go ahead.
Book of 1 Corinthians 8:1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols.
Well, which would be Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc. Read.
We know.
Now, why didn't you break down what was going on around that time? There was actually meat that was sold in the shambles where Israelites, converts, bought their food that was actually offered unto idols, that was being used in heathenistic practices, heathenistic temples, offered to their gods, and it was sold in the shambles. So the controversy, because these Gentiles that came in, when you get Acts 15 in 19, it says, wherefore my sentence that we trouble them not, which from among the Gentiles are turned unto God, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood. All right, so the Gentiles that were coming in, it was basically a council, and about this chapter. The Gentiles, they tried to put the whole law on them, and this and that, but they were told to just abstain from pollutions, abstain from idols, abstain from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood, because they were up. When you look at the area that these Gentiles were coming in, it was a heavy load of idol worship. All right, so when you go into eating those things, all right, there came the controversy, because you had particular men saying, why would you eat that? now that it's sacrificed into, you know, that was sacrificed into a heathenistic god, which all of the food we eat today is sacrificed unto heathenistic gods. All right, by the way, but we're not going to even go there, but we just want to listen to his breakdown. So first off, you didn't explain that. Okay, you said Christmas, Thanksgiving. All right, that food is, you know, food offered unto an idol, you know, to the people who actually believe in that idol. All right, but we're going to show you. Let's get back into his breakdown. And I'm not going to curse you out. I'm not doing this but you mentioned my name. You mentioned, you know, and you went through the scriptures, but you didn't break it down. So I'm going to break it down.
That we all have knowledge.
We all have knowledge. Everybody in this room, everybody listening, we all have knowledge. Read.
It says knowledge.
The knowledge is talking about the knowledge of those idols. Okay? The knowledge of those idols. The Israelite, you had particular Israelites boasting the fact that they know about those idols. Just like one could boast about the Greek god of Nike, Victory. You know, and why would you know, you have people who come with that premise. You know, why y'all wearing that and this and this and that and then, you know. But that's where the knowledge puffeth up, because you had particular men making a big deal out of the idols. But let's keep going.
Knowledge puffeth up. That's what happened. This dude was puffed up.
That's right. That's right.
Hasten is coming. Read.
But charity edifies.
Charity edifies. Read.
And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing.
That's the first thing you should have known, because I rather. Salaki, I keep saying the names are so close. Because you know of nothing. Read.
Yes, he ought to know.
You don't know what you ought to know. You ought to know that you shouldn't be eating that. Right. Let alone making a video saying it's cool. Like, damn, you made a whole video about it? If you believe that, you shouldn't even have made a video about it. You should.
Now, according to the scriptures, technically, SICARII is right on this topic, and we'll go into that in Romans the 14th chapter. You don't want to offend brothers who may be weak in this area. That's why this is all a learning experience. You know, from this I'm learning, and I'm sure from this other brothers are learning. But we'll show you that certain things that you do that may offend, you just don't publish it to the church, you know. And technically, you're not going off. And we'll get into that. But I will say that he's not going off on that part. And I talked to the brother Kazak. Everything's all good. And another thing, he did a video with the balance of it. But obviously, the Most High, through Yahawashi, wanted this to come out because this was an issue back in the Church of Corinth. All right, so we're those same people coming back. We're going to have the same issues. This is the same thing happening all over again, man.
And just kept that to your damn self. But it's in the spirit that the satanic spirit of pride got on you to do it. So then this can happen. Right. So we can do it before the congregation so everybody can know.
Right.
So it's all praise.
And we go see if you break down Romans the 8th chapter the correct way in front of the congregation, because you left out a lot of key points.
Honor and glory to Yahawah, Hashem Yahawashi. Go
ahead. Good precept. It's the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 41. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast.
That's right.
And the extreme tortures.
Now, in that book, the Maccabees were being forced to eat pork and they chose death. All right. This is different, a different situation from me or a brother being at their parents' house or around their family on what they think is a holy day and you eat the food. Or if you live with your parents and you eat the food that they cook. All right. We're not being forced, all right, by the Romans. Now, when it comes to taking a chip, all right, that can equate to that, all right. But eating food, all right, on a so-called holiday is not equated to what they did in the Maccabees and with the mother and all of that, man. All right.
Die before you eat turkey on Thanksgiving.
He said he would die before he ate turkey on Thanksgiving. Okay, well, that's you. You know, we'll you know, if that's your premise and that's how you will go out, then that's your thing. That's what you do. But we're going to show you that you don't condemn a brother who decides to eat that on Thanksgiving, man. And we'll show you in the scriptures. This chapter that you're breaking down goes into it.
You see that? That's what it is. Just die. You know what? If that's the only thing you got to eat, starve. You mean to come on, man? You can't fast? Fast. Like I said earlier, how do you eat every other day of the year?
And if you want to fast on that day, you can fast. That's not a law. Okay? There's nothing wrong with taking the premise that you won't eat on Thanksgiving, man. I myself, I'm not around my family. I don't have to deal with wanting to eat or going around my family on those days because I don't see my family. All right? So the only time certain brothers do see their family is on particular holidays, man. You telling me you wicked if you just eat some of the food? We're going to get into it.
They don't have turkey and gravy and dressing every other day of the year.
Yeah, he said you got to eat to live like you could do a 24-hour fast.
Like you do it on the Day of Atonement. Oh, you're going to die. Or you're going to die.
Meal. That's just what, dinner?
Yeah.
Just this meal.
Listen to himself. He's a weak Negro. Right? And he's going crazy. Okay, and we know why.
Simple man finds an excuse. That's all he was doing. All right, trying to set it up so if anybody catches him, so he can go and freely post on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat.
All right, man.
Of him with a big turkey leg in his hand. All right, and he's not at the fair.
That's right. He's not at the fair. Well, go ahead.
Verse 3. But if any man love the Most High,
if any man love Yahawah in heaven, read.
The same is known of him. As concerning
if you love the Most High, then you know this.
If you love the Most High, then you know him. If you know who Yahawah Yahawashi is, then these idols are nothing unto you. Okay? And it's gonna break itself down. We'll get into it.
Right? Read on.
As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols.
Read.
We know that.
Why didn't you break down that the meat that they were getting at that time was sacrificed in heathen temples, and that was all they had to eat? So you telling them that they shouldn't eat? That's what you're saying. But, we're going to show you did have men who took that premise.
An idol is nothing.
The idol is nothing. Let's get that straight. It's nothing. It's wood or it's stone or it's gold or whatever it's made out of. That's all that is. There's no power in it.
Correct. All right, correct. As concerning those things, 1 Corinthians 8:4, as concerning those things, therefore, the eating of those things that are offered unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other God but one. All right?
Read.
And that there is none other God but one.
There's only Yahawah. Read.
For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or on earth, as there be gods many and lords many.
Gods many and lords many. Read.
But to us there is but one God.
There's but one God, but to us the Father, Yahawah. Read. That's a Trinity cut right there. There's one God and it's the Father.
Correct.
You see that?
Correct.
Make sure to mark that down for when vocab Malone got to try to come at you with some back. Read.
Of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Hamashiach Yahawashi.
Read on.
By whom are all things, and we by him.
Read on.
How?
Right. So we know, all right, got to break this down. All right. It says, 1 Corinthians 8:6, but unto us there is but one God, the Father of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Yahawashi Mashiach, by whom are all things, and we by him. All right. So this is dealing with what? Eating the things that are sacrificed unto idols. All right. The meat itself was created, the animal itself was created by Yahawah, by Hashem Yahawashi. All right. So you have particular men. You have particular of us who know who the Most High is. We understand Yahawah, by Hashem Yahawashi. We understand liberty. We understand these things. All right. But not in every man isn't that knowledge, man.
Be it there is not in every man that knowledge.
Everybody don't understand that. Read on.
For some with
those in that church, those in the church of Corinth, there were those who did not understand that. There were those who were weak to the temptation of eating those things. And to them, it was as if you were still worshiping that God. Okay? Let's go. Let's get it.
For some with conscience of the idol, unto this hour, eat it as a thing offered unto an idol.
That's how they are eating that. You're sitting at a table of people who are doing that. With conscience unto the idol that is offered.
No. They, okay? the ones who don't have the knowledge. It says, howbeit, and not every man is that knowledge. For some, with conscience of the idol, unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. All right, so there are people who celebrate, who eat Thanksgiving food, and in their mind, they're actually eating food to the god of Thanksgiving, the god of Mars. Okay? And then this time you have particular men who are eating that food, and they're like, I'm not eating this, because in their mind, they know it came from a heathenistic temple. They know that it was sacrificed by heathens and to heathen gods. So to them, they wouldn't eat it.
To eat it offered unto an idol. Read.
This is not talking about you sitting at the table with them. This is talking about that particular person.
And their conscience being weak is defiled.
And their conscience being weak is defiled. They are sinning against the Most High. And you're sitting at a table of people who are doing this. Ridiculous. Go ahead.
Now, this is this particular topic is tackled here in 1 Corinthians 10. All right. In 27. All right. If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. But if any man say unto you, this is offered unto a sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So there's balance in it, man. Okay, if I go to my family's house, all right, on a wicked holiday, and they're cooking Thanksgiving food, all right, and I happen to eat the food, I can eat the food. But if they start saying this is offered to the white Jesus, this guy, this food is offered to that different God, then for your conscience, then just don't eat it. Okay? Well, let's get back to your breakdown.
But meat commendeth us not to the Most High, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse.
Read on.
No. This is where I'm going to stop, man. Why didn't you break that verse down? 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and 8, all right? Because it's dealing with, he brought the first premise out. You know, look, we know that it's only one God. Look, we're eating that meat. It ain't, to us, it's just meat, man. We ain't worried about that. But unto certain men, it's really an idol. Unto certain men, it really affects their conscience. Like Guerrilla Hebrew, SICARII said he's offended by that. So he wouldn't eat that. He would be one of the ones that would stay away from that stuff. All right. Now we can get technical on various ways of this society, because you know the money is offered into a idol. The dollar bill has all sorts of witchcraft on it. Are you going to throw that away? I'm pretty sure you have a card with an RFID chip in it. That's an idol. Are you going to throw that away? You know, so you can't. You by all means necessary, don't eat the food. Don't go around your family on those days. But if a brother decides that that's what he wants to do, and you know that he believes in Yahawashi, you're not to condemn him, and we're going to show you that. Now, the part he just said, read on about, breaks the whole thing down. 1 Corinthians 8 and 8, but meat commendeth us not to God, for neither, all right, if we eat, are we the better? If we eat not, are we the worse? All right? He didn't break that down, okay? If we eat the meat, we're not better. And if we don't eat the meat, what meat? The meat sacrificed unto an idol. Okay? Now, and then it goes into liberty. Let's keep watching, then we'll get into some more.
But take heed, lest by any means this liberty of yours become
Why did you keep reading on verse 8? Why didn't you break down verse 8? Do a lesson on verse 8, brother.
stumbling block to them that are weak.
It's liberty. Why is it a liberty? Who knows why this is a liberty? We dealt with this last time. Who knows why you have liberty?
Now you cut yourself with liberty, and you cutting yourself with this very point that you're about to make.
Things offered unto idols.
If you don't know about it, right? Like, you can't get out.
No. Liberty. Why is there liberty? Why do you have liberty to eat food sacrificed unto idols? No, that ain't got nothing to do with that.
you have liberty?
Yes. Why do you have liberty?
You justified yourself.
Yeah. It's liberty. It's liberty. I'm going to explain why you have liberty. We're in America. I can't stop you from going and eating a food sacrificed to idols.
You damn sure right. And all of the food that you eat, okay, is sacrificing to an idol. Everything that we wear, everything that we eat, everything that we drink, okay, is sacrificing to an idol. One dude left a comment on Christmas, instead of which I can't do Christmas. You know, I don't know if any brothers do go around their family on Christmas. I can't. That's one thing I can't do. I'm not gonna do that, man. You know, but I'm not gonna condemn a brother if he's around his family eating food and he leaves or whatever. But I just can't be around that. But one guy left a message. Why don't you just go to Jack in the Box on Christmas or Thanksgiving? Now, when you go into Jack in the Box, they're gonna have Christmas lights, okay? And the owners of Jack in the Box are devils, pedophiles, and all of these things in your neighborhoods are offered unto idols. So really, if Yahawashi came back and wanted to judge by the law, we would be through. Because our everyday life is embedded in idol worship. This is the mother of harlots, okay?
If we're in Israel, I will kill you.
Right.
We're in America.
If we were in Israel, if we were in our power, none of this stuff would even be around, man. Okay?
You can go right now and eat food sacrificed. Nobody is physically going to stop you.
Which you do every day. Outside of Thanksgiving, the food that you eat is offered unto an idol, unless you have a temple or a slaughterhouse, all right, a halal slaughterhouse, and even then, it's Jewish white devils sacrificing the food. Okay, they're not sacrificing it to the name of Yahawah, okay, because there was an order within sacrificing the foods, man, our animals. Okay, but when we're not in our power, we have to eat our food defiled amongst the Gentiles, which is the situation that we're in. And through liberty, okay, we're not killed by those things through the sacrifice that Yahawashi made. All right, let's listen some more.
Have an ability. That doesn't mean you're justified to do it in the sight of the Most High. But nobody's finna stop you from going to you. It's your choice whether you do it or not.
And that's exactly what the scripture is saying. Now, not only is it your choice, but you can't condemn one, all right, that does, all right? This is this is Romans chapter 14:1. Him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. For one believeth that he may eat all things, and another who is weak eateth herbs. So you have particular men who took the stance, I'm not eating meat at all, man. Because it's sacrificing to an idol. The heathens got a rule over it. I'm not dealing with it. That's your choice. Let's keep reading. Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not, and let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth. For God hath received him. So the Most High, he has been brought into the body. Okay, he believes on Yahawah. He no longer believes in those idols. He's eating the meat. You can't look at him eating the meat saying that you're wicked. Or the one who's eating the meat ain't supposed to say, man, you can eat this shit, man. You don't believe in that God. Because that can fuck up that brother's mind or that sister's mind. You see? It said, who art thou to judge another man's servant? Okay, because you have particular men who had masters in the flesh. All right? And they ate only what their masters fed them, man. Well, they go tell their master, I'm not eating that shit, you know, as long as it was lawful. Okay? I mean, what were they to do? You know? It says, who art thou to judge another man's servant? To his own master he standeth or falleth. All right? Yea, he shall be holded up, for God is able to make him stand. So the Most High is dealing with that man. Okay, here we go. One man esteemeth one day above another. Another man esteemeth every day alike. Okay, let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. And this is the bottom line, man. According to a particular brother's measure, hey, man, you going to do what you do. But we know that brothers ain't celebrating Thanksgiving. If I seen you with a Thanksgiving plate, I would know Even though we have beef, I would know SICARI, that dude don't celebrate Thanksgiving. We know Kazakh doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. All he does is do videos on a northern tribes in edifying videos. We know damn well Kazakh don't celebrate Thanksgiving, man. Okay? Just like if I see you with Nike, I know damn well you don't wear Nikes to celebrate the god of the Greek god of victory. Okay? So one esteem it one day above another. You have particular men with their superstitions and their way of doing things. Okay? It says, he that regardeth the day regarded it unto the Lord, and he that regardeth not the day to the Lord, he doth not regard it. He that eateth, eateth to the Lord. Okay? For he giveth God thanks. Okay? So when brothers are eating this food, they're not eating the food with the conscience of it being offered unto an idol. They're eating the food and they're saying the water Yahawashi. Then they leave and they go back home and they do lessons. Okay? This is this is where you're going off at, SICARI. You're not wrong in saying you won't eat on that day, but to condemn a brother who does is unscriptural, man. Okay? He that eateth, eateth to the Lord. He that giveth, for he giveth. For the Lord gave that food, man. The Lord created that lamb. The Lord created the chicken. Okay? All right? But there's a balance within that. Because if it offends your brother, then you don't do it. You don't broadcast it. All right? It says, For he giveth God thanks, and he that eateth not to the Lord, he eateth not, and giveth God thanks. So we're all a part of this body, but you're going to have particular brothers with particular spirits, man. For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. For whether we live, we live unto the Lord, or whether we die unto the Lord. All right? We understand the Most High Yahawah has control generally over all things. We understand that these idols are nothing. You have particular ones with that understanding, so they'll be able to eat that thing and it don't bother them. But on the flip side, this can be detrimental to a brother who's weak in that area of spirit. That's why these things are to be done to yourself. All right, you work out that with your own personal relationship with Yahawashi, and you move on. Okay. But this is all scriptural. This all happened. As you're reading, Paul had to deal with this. He had to address this, just like we're addressing this right now. Okay? It said, whether we live, therefore, or we die, we are the Lord's. For to this end, Yahawashi Hamashiach both died and rose and revived, that he might be Lord of the both of the dead and the living. All right? But why dost thou judge thy brother? Or why dost thou set at naught thy brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Yahawashi Hamashiach. And this is the question, man. You saw that video and immediately you said, I got him, for to make GMS look bad again. And you put this crap up here saying that we celebrate Thanksgiving and forsake Hanukkah. Now, even within this, Paul's focus is the eating of the food sacrificing to the idol, not the actual day or idol that they sacrifice it to. He's dealing with the food that they eat. That's what the brother Kazakh was dealing with, the food that's eating on that day. And we don't forsake Hanukkah, man. All right. It says, for as it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me and every tongue shall confess. All right. Well, I don't know if SICARI is going to do that. You don't bow to nobody but Yahawah. All right, it says, so then every one of us shall give account to himself to God. So, hey, man, all of us got sins, man. All of us have sins, man. And this whole little carnal movement going on, we're pointing out brothers' sins. You know, hey, it's cute, it's funny, but at the end of the day, none of that is going to stand. We're all going to have to answer for our sins. And if you're not forgiven for those sins, which is the goal, we want to receive the mercies of David as the house of David. All right, then you through. Let us therefore not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block for an occasion to fall in his brother's way. So in this aspect, I agree with SICARII. He's not going off in that aspect. We don't supposed to put a stumbling block in our brother's way. All right, that's why the brother Kazak went and did another video, and he said, well, you don't have to do it. You know, I was just saying if you're presented, because it was, I think there was a question asked, and it was pretty much like a dispute, you know. It says, I know and am persuaded by Yahawashi that there is nothing unclean of itself. All right, here we go. So Paul understands. Paul was eating the food. Paul ate the meat. Others ate the meat sacrificed unto idols, man. It was nothing for Paul to go get that food from heathens. It was nothing for them to go get that food that was offered unto them. It was like, look, this is just meat. He's persuaded. But to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean. So if you have a brother that think it's unclean to eat on that day, don't eat on that day. Go to Jack in the Box. and eat some more and eat some human DNA or whatever you want to do, you do it. But here's the point: if thy brother be grieved with thy meat, all right, now walkest thou not charitable. Destroy not him with thy meat for whom Yahawashi died. So we ain't supposed to force it on brothers. Look, you can't eat such and such on this day. Look, if you don't want to eat food on Thanksgiving, don't eat it. I didn't eat no food on Thanksgiving. I cooked my own food. But I'm not around my family. You have brothers who are around their families. You have brothers who are around their wives' families. I don't know every man's situation. That ain't my business. As long as he ain't eating no swine, as long as he not singing Thanksgiving carols and saying I'm bound to the God of Mars and another God made this, and then that's where the issue comes. All right? Just like we ain't to worry about who a man is laying with, as long as it's a woman. All right, destroy him not with thy meat for whom Yahawashi died. All right, let not then your good be evil spoken of, for the kingdom of God is not meat and drink. This topic that we're talking about, it has nothing to do with the kingdom, man. It's just food, man. Okay, but righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Ghost. All right, so the kingdom of God is not about what you're eating and what, if you're eating the food's offered, because technically if we wanted to go there, all of the food we eat is offered unto an idol, man. All right, I'm gonna jump to 20. For meat destroy not the work of God. All things indeed are pure, but it is evil to a man who eat it with offense. So if you eat it with offense, all right, hey, don't eat it. That's why SICARII and his gang, they don't eat on that day. To them, it's offensive. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. All right. It is good neither to eat flesh nor to drink wine nor anything whereby that brother stumbleth. That's why you do these things pretty much on your own. You don't broadcast them, man, in this time. All right. You wouldn't do these particular things in front of a brother who you know it offended. You just remain quiet about it and go on about your life and work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Or is offended or is made weak. Hast thou faith? Have it to thyself before God. Bam, that's the point. If you have faith and it doesn't bother you, hey man, if you're around your family and you eating food that they cook, man, eat the food. All right, have it to yourself. Do it to yourself. Happy is he that condemn it not himself in that thing which he alloweth. So if in your mind look, Yahawashi created this heaven and the earth. There ain't no such thing as Baal. I'm not eating this thing sacrificed unto Baal. I don't give a damn about Thanksgiving. I don't give a damn about no Christmas. And you're able to do that and leave and go about your life. Good. But if it's a problem in your conscience, then don't do it. But either of us, all right. But he that doubted is damned if he eat, because he eateth not with faith, for whatsoever is not of faith is sin. So none of us are supposed to be condemning each other on this topic, man. That's the bottom line, okay? Have your premise, do it the way you do it, but just because you see a brother that does, according to the scriptures, You're not supposed to judge that man. And here's the point. Romans 4:14-3. Let him not that eateth despise him that eateth not. And let him not which eateth judge him that eateth, for God have received them, man. So your breakdowns of 1 Corinthians 8 is off, bro. When you read 1 Corinthians 8:8, the one you said keep reading, it says, but meat commendeth us not to God, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse, man.
It's the power of your choice. You answer.
The power of your choice.
I watched this interview on GMS, and it was basically he was basically saying it's like saying like your liberty or your will that makes the action wrong or positive. Like he was saying, like if I kill someone or you kill someone, I might be doing it in a justified way. You might be doing it in a negative way. It's the same action. Exactly. Like the old man, you rush on rock, the old man, you protect yourself. The same action. Or the dude wanted to go kill himself. It's liberty, like it's not I said liberty, but it's like choice of will. You know what I mean? Like it may be. I mean, good on that though. Like
that's why the Bible says the intents of the heart and the Most High judges the reins of the heart. That's why it says that, because it's your intention. Like you said,
it's your intention. Exactly. Now, if somebody's eating this food with the intention that it's to the Most High God, Yahawah, and they ain't worried about it, they're free to eat that. But if your intention is that, look, this is offered to an idol, man, and you still eat it, then you condemning yourself. Either way, none of it matters with us getting to the kingdom of heaven, man, as the scripture said, man. So I think pretty much from this point,
that's why you got first-degree murder, second-degree murder, premeditated murder, manslaughter. You could have killed somebody, and you get charged with house. You can get him, but if he's trying to leave,
it's funny that
liberty for a cloak of maliciousness.
See that? That's what's happening. You're using your liberty as a cloak of maliciousness. That's what he's doing, right?
That's not what he's doing. Okay? And we're going to get into liberty on the live show. But I just wanted to break that down, that 1 Corinthians 8. I don't know why you didn't read or break this down. If we eat, are we the better? If we eat not, are we the worse? I don't know why, but at the same time, we are to take heed that this liberty becomes a stumbling block to them that are weak. All right, because there's a lot of things technically you can do, but you don't want to do it in front of a brother who may be offended by it. That's why we have to get to know one another, and by faith serve one another, man. And serve one another meaning we have to be obedient unto one another in the spirit. Okay, so let's just finish this up. All right, that's pretty much it, but let's just finish this up. For if a man see thee which has knowledge sit at meat in idols' temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak being emboldened eat those things which are offered unto idols? And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish, on whom Yahawashi died? All right, so you don't want to offend your brother, man. But like we saw, there's balance within this whole topic. But this topic is beautiful, man. I'm learning, and this happened before. You don't want to offend your brother with your behavior, man. So certain things like that, hey, keep it to yourself between you and Yahawashi. As long as you're not sinning, eating pork, or doing anything that the law says not to do, But in this hell, in this idol-infested society, we do have liberty, all right? And the water, Yahawashi for that liberty, because if he came back, all right, and judged us by our works here in America, Psalms 130:3, if thou, Lord, shouldest mark iniquities, all right, O Lord, who shall stand, all right? But there's a forgiveness with thee that thou mayest be feared, okay? So if the Lord marked our iniquities, taking away Thanksgiving, eating on Thanksgiving alone, we're through, all right? So you're not supposed to do that to brothers, man. All right, so with that, hopefully brothers were edified. And on the live show tonight, we'll get deeper into the liberty aspect of it. And all praise to Yahawashi, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.